This morning, nearly 2 decades after human remains washed up on a beach in northern Washington, we just learned the remains are those of a former Oregon mayor.
Fox 4's Deborah Gale joins us now in studio with the latest on this cold case. Now we finally have some answers, Deb.
Right. A crowd-funded forensic genealogy lab in Texas just sent out a report of their findings. According to the lab called Othram and its DNA Solves database, skeletal remains that washed up on an Indian reservation in Grays Harbor County in Washington in November of 2006 are now identified as Ed Asher. Asher was the former mayor of Fossil, Oregon, and declared dead back in September of 2006. It was presumed he drowned in Tillamook Bay during a crabbing trip. As you can see in this map, that's more than 200 miles south from where his remains were found just 2 months after he disappeared. However, his remains were not identified until just last year. That's when the Grays Harbor Coroner's Office sent their evidence to Othram scientists. They were able to successfully extract DNA from the remains, and then genome sequencing built a DNA profile of the unidentified man. Their genealogy team used the profile in a genetic search and returned their findings to law enforcement. Well, a follow-up investigation led officers to possible relatives and then matched a DNA sample to Asher. Clarence Edwin Asher was born and raised in Oregon, opened a variety store in Fossil in 1965. He worked as a lineman for the Fossil Telephone Company before retiring in 1995. He was 72 years old when he died. Again, it's presumed he drowned, but there's no word on Asher's official cause of death. Sean and Kim, back to you.